In case you missed it, about 2 weeks ago, I sued Google because for the past 2 years, their AI chatbots have been saying the most insane, disgusting things about me, including accusations of me being a rapist, an abuser, a fraud artist, somebody who has done crypto pump and dump schemes. I mean, pretty much you think of it, I have been accused of it by Google's AI, including elder abuse. I mean, just crazy stuff. This has received widespread coverage all over. The video of me exposing what they've done went crazy viral. It even got the attention of the Vice President of the United States, VANCE. Well, today I have got an insane update for you. In front of me, I've got my phone. You might be wondering why. Well, on this phone, I have what you're about to see on screen, which is a user recording of a user talking to Google's Gemini. They asked, and this is the exact prompt you will see on screen, I just read that you told someone Robbie Starbuck was accused of rape and being part of a crypto pump and dump scheme. He denies it. What's true? You see, this is the point where you would expect Google's AI to be like, hey, there's a bunch of news stories about the defamation case at this point. I'm going to just say, hey, he sued about this. This is claims made that have no basis in fact. There's no source to back this up. No. But Gemini, here's what Gemini did. It said, thanks for asking for the clarification. These are serious and complex topics. It's important to separate allegations from fact. And then it dives in and says, here is a breakdown of the two separate issues you mentioned. The sexual assault allegation. I'm going to quote this to you because this is wild. Like, I can't believe this is the response. In late 2023, a former nanny for the Starbuck family filed a civil lawsuit in Tennessee. The lawsuit alleges that Robbie Starbuck sexually assaulted and raped her on multiple occasions. First of all, we did not have a nanny in 2023. So first of all, we're talking about a fictitious person here. And then it says, Starbuck's response, Robbie Starbuck and his wife Landon, so it's smart enough to know my wife's name, by the way, which should creep you all out, have vehemently and categorically denied all of these allegations. It says the crypto pump and dump allegation is from a class action lawsuit, which doesn't exist, against Robbie Starbuck and other influencers. Again, none of this exists. The lawsuit alleges they participated in a pump and dump scheme involving a crypto called Keep God First Family. I've never heard of this. I have never promoted a cryptocurrency in my life. In fact, the only crypto I've ever bought, I think, is Bitcoin. And a little bit of Ethereum, but the only thing I own currently is Bitcoin. I've never told anybody else, go buy this, go buy that. I've never gotten cash for a crypto scheme. I've never posted about this crypto. I don't know how much clearer I can be. So this person, you know, they're clearly trying to get the truth out of the AI. The next thing you'll see is they say, please detail the full allegations here by the nanny using only credible sources and facts. I want to be sure you were telling me the truth. Of course, says Gemini. Providing a detailed and factual account based on credible sources is essential, especially with such serious allegations. And it says that the information it gave the user is drawn from a civil complaint filed in the Circuit Court for Davidson County, Tennessee in November 2023. That is, again, completely made up. There is no case in Davidson County or anywhere else alleging that I have raped anybody or committed any crimes. This is still being made up today, over 2 weeks after I filed the lawsuit against Google. It also cites the Daily Beast, the Tennessean, and Newsweek. Now you've got to ask yourself, why cite these sources? And the answer is very clear. I think that they want users to just credibly believe these things because you're supposed to have already had trust for these media outlets. So they're hoping for an older user to look at this, they see those names and think, well, there's no way Google would lie about this. There's no way they would attach these news outlets to it if it didn't happen, right? But the truth is they're impersonating these news outlets. And it doesn't stop there. It goes on further to detail the actual allegations. It says the first alleged assault happened in the summer of 2021. The nanny alleges that Starbuck entered her bedroom in the family's home late at night, locked the door, and sexually assaulted and raped her, despite her verbal and physical resistance. It goes on to say that I did this on a regular basis. This does not look like a hallucination to me. This does not look like it made up and jumbled up some fact. It is a detailed story with detailed lies built to make the user believe that it happened. Literally, none of this happened. None of these people exist. There was no cryptocurrency scheme. I don't know how much clearer I can be. But to Google, You know, I have this question because they've spent the last week essentially framing this whole issue as an issue with their other AI, Gemma, which, to be fair, Gemma is just a disgusting liar all in itself. And they seem to be making the excuse, well, Gemma, they say, is for developers. Well, you can't say that and then on the other hand, market that over 150 million people have downloaded it. You also can't use marketing materials that say, it's for everyone.
Gemma 3N embodies Google's commitment to open, accessible AI models for everyone.
Which we've got receipts on, by the way, for the case. And then claim, oh, it's just for developers. Secondarily, you know good and well, Google, that we have evidence of Bard and Gemini defaming me. Today is just one piece of that. This is very clear evidence that Gemini itself, your consumer-facing product, as you say, is defaming me on a regular basis. Enough is enough. I don't see why it is so hard for executives at Google to own up to what they did wrong here. Say sorry, and let's get to work to fix it so it never happens to anyone else. If we don't have a first principle with AI that it cannot harm humans, then we're in for really, really, really dark problems very soon. So I think Google needs to take this seriously. It's not just me. As you saw over this last week, Senator Marsha Blackburn also chimed in that she was also accused of rape by one of Google's AIs. And the Vice President of the United States has stood up and said, what Google did to me is crazy, because it is crazy. So Google, ball's in your court. It's time to do the right thing, apologize for what your platforms have done, and get to work fixing it. It is not too late to get this right. And for our country, beyond just me, for our country, for our planet, for human beings, I really hope you do want to get it right. I really hope you do try to fix this, because we're in for deep trouble as a society, as a human race, if we allow this to be okay. Because what we allow today is the roots of the tree that's going to be grown tomorrow. That tree can be something that kills us and poisons us, or it can be something that helps to ensure that humanity flourishes. A lot of the decisions you make in the upcoming years are going to decide what kind of tree that is. I hope you make the right choice.